Welcome to MATHurdays. I am Teresa Wills. I am going to go ahead and bring us through a math task today and how it's done online. I'm really excited because this task comes out of a Corwin book that I'll share at the end here. And I love using tasks that come from other places and kind of reinvent them online. So we'll get to see that today. And while the topic of this task is intended for 6th through 10th grade, I know in elementary schools you all are doing a lot of probability when it comes to like pulling things out of a bag and guessing what's in the bag. And so this is very much going to be applicable to you as well. So without further ado, let's get started. You have the link. On slide 2, I have links for other templates or other tasks if you want to try some more of these. And I'd love to hear what everyone else is doing, how your day and week are going. On slide 3, if you would please add a text box and share with us your successes and celebrations. I'll share my first little celebration here. I've been really enjoying science with my kiddos recently. And in this picture, my daughter is exploring light, if it's particles or waves, after she watched a little documentary on it. And she created this little science experiment, so it was super fun. Hello and welcome. If you're just now coming in, here is the link to our slides. We're down on slide 3 where we're sharing some successes and celebrations. Hello and welcome. I see more people are here. If you look in the chat box, you'll get the link to our slides, and we're participating on slide 3. Oh, Gail, these cards are so cool. Is this a virtual resource? Tell us more about the Powers of 10.
So I'll put the link. It's from the National Informal STEM Education Network. And they have this series of cards that you can print out, but I put them together and made it a virtual thing that I'd be glad to share. And it came from this link originally, but then I made little cards and we played with powers of 10 to talk about sizes, magnitudes. You can do scientific notation, all the prefixes for all the metric system, and so on.
That is so cool. I can't wait to jump into it. I see a lot of other clicking on that too.
You can email me if you want copies of, there's like 80 different little cards.
That is so cool. Gail, maybe we can work together and turn one of these into a MATHurdays. I'd love to explore these numbers. I'll have to get in touch with you. Thanks for sharing. Dan, hello. Tell us a little bit about multiplication tables and kind of what you're thinking of in terms of plans for those.
Yeah. I found that whenever you search for multiplication tables, everything you find is upside down. Multiplication tables need to start bottom left, and they actually end up looking a lot like the first quadrant of the coordinate axis. So you can actually eventually develop into that. But yeah, there's a lot of lessons you can learn from the multiplication tables. One, for example, a definition of primes is one that only exists, a non-unit that exists only in the one times table. So that gives a kind of interesting way to see the composites because they exist in other parts of the multiplication table. But there's a lot more you can pull from it. That's just one simple example.
How cool. You know, I haven't thought of too many different ways of looking at the multiplication table, but now I can't unthink that. That's so cool. Thanks for sharing. Colette, you're able to use Google Docs again. I'm assuming that's going to make a big difference in your teaching. And Colette, if you want to turn on your mic, we'd love to hear from you. If it's not working or not, no worries. But excited that you're able to do that. And who's the this Jamboard expert here? Learned a lot from slides and Jamboard. What do you like about each of them?
Um, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we sure can.
Okay. I like Jamboard because I found some resources through the Kentucky Math from another workshop I went to on Thursdays for 3 weeks that has to do with multiplication and helping the kids be more visual. So I could try to find that link and share it, but it was just neat because the kids really, our school was virtual, then it was face-to-face and then virtual. So the kids really kind of miss using the computer. So it's a way to let them use the computer a little bit.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, I think
classrooms.
people would be interested in any resources that you have. Feel free to put them on this slide. That's one of the
Yeah, I can
advantages
put
of
it
this.
underneath. There was a really cool one that had you like make 2 times. I mean, because I have lower kids that are learning lower math, but like 2 times 3 is 2 groups of 3, and then you have to. And it shows it in different ways, so they're actually visualizing it and not or playing multiplication with dice. So you take a dice, 2 5s and 10s with all the numbers, and then you roll them, and then you put them in a graph paper. Because a lot of kids, maybe they're memorizing 7 times 8 is 56, but do they actually know what it looks like? So that's been fun too.
Very cool. Yeah, that 7 times 8, I never know. I always go to 49 and count up like every single time. I don't know why I
Yeah,
haven't
that's
decided to
interesting.
memorize this one yet, but there are certain facts that I always do a different one and count up for, and I'm quite fast at it,
Right.
so maybe that's why I haven't bothered to learn it. Very cool.
So it's been neat to visualize the math because my students are sick to death of multiplication, but it's important. So I'm trying to find different ways for them to learn it.
Yeah, sure.
I'll look for it. Thank you.
Well, I did notice a couple new people popped in. The link to our slides is in the chat box. We will use the interactive slides. I'll project them up on the screen, but to interact, you actually have to click that link. And we're going to move right into our math routine. This math routine comes from Would You Rather Math. In other words, if you want a lot of great resources, click that link and you don't have to create them. They're already created for you. Lots and lots and lots and lots of pictures are there. And then our routine is down on slide 5. You'll pick a side. Are you on the Thin Mint side or the Samoas? If you're unfamiliar with these are the Girl Scout cookies. And since I happen to be a Girl Scout troop leader, this is the problem that we're doing today. You get to eat 40% of the box. So choose either side and tell us why. And if you don't really mind that much about the taste, maybe you're interested in the serving sizes. So you can check out those serving sizes that are on the side. Just scoot your little bar at the bottom over, and you can see those. There are so many great ideas in here. So So there are extra boxes. If you decide you want to change your mind at any time, you can fill out a box on the other side there. You can also type any comments in the chat box, as you're thinking of these. But I am curious, the very top one in the green, I noticed that you put down you would eat more if you had the Thin Mints, and I'm curious, how do you know this? Is there anything that led you to this decision?
I think you're talking about me, because when I was looking at the number in the servings and then the amount of calories, the calories are pretty close, 160 and 140. So I thought I would be more satisfied if I could eat more cookies and take in fewer calories. Versus the Samoa, if I eat one, I'm taking in 70 calories in one cookie. But with the Thin Mints, I can eat more cookies. So I get I'm more satisfied because I'm eating more, but I'm taking in less calories. But the truth of the matter is I really do prefer the taste of the Samoas. But in terms of a diet, idea, that's why I picked the Cool Mints.
That was clever. So you're using calories and cookies per serving. Very cool. Let's see, there's another one that I highlighted in black. You said that they have more protein. How did you figure that one out? Who noticed the protein one? I'd love to hear kind of your thinking on that.
Teresa, I think it was me, Lisa. I just looked at the serving information, and there are 2 grams of protein per serving with the Thin Mints and only 1 gram in the Samoas.
Interesting. I would have thought the
But
coconut.
I'm still going to eat the better tasting cookie anyway.
Let's see. Some other ones in here. There's lots of like tastes in them. Somebody else actually mentioned the 40% in there, and you said your husband would eat 80% before you could get to your 40. So we would have to make sure that you got to your 40% first. Cool. Well, there's a lot of different directions that students could go through with this one here. One of the things we're going to be looking at in today's exploration is what 40% means. And we had people looking at serving sizes. We also had people looking at, they would eat the whole sleeve of Thin Mints. And so indeed, there were more Thin Mints in the box. And that's something else that could kind of alter your thinking there. Alrighty, let's jump into our task. On slide 6, I have the reason why we do rich tasks. Today's task is a little bit more directed into what you'll do, but there's plenty of opportunities for predictions. There's plenty of opportunities for conversation and really looking at conceptually understanding what it means to connect 20 as your sample size to percents, and that's what we'll look at. So on slide 7, this is the problem-solving oath that I like everyone to take a look at. If you would like to pledge this oath today, put your name in the chat box. It says, I, Teresa, promise to try my best. I will make sense of patterns and numbers. I will use manipulatives and drawings. I will make mistakes. I will ask questions. I will listen to other ideas. I will stay engaged by always trying to find another solution or representation. I am a problem solver. I make the world a better place. All right, folks, in just a minute, you'll be in breakout rooms, but I thought I would start off by just kind of showcasing some of the things that are on your breakout room slides. So what you're going to be looking at today is 20 little cubes, and they're going to represent the entire U.S. population. So instead of having all these people, we're going to sum it down to just 20 cubes. And from that, we're going to predict what we think the racial breakup is of the United States. So you're thinking of these 20, you might think that there might be 10 white, 8 black, 1 Hispanic, 1 Asian. Or you might think, 8 white, 8 black, and then it come up with the other Hispanic and Asian. But this prediction will sum up to 20, just what your group thinks. And then what I've got for you is a probability simulator. So you're going to actually run this simulator. It's pretty cool. It'll take you to playingcards.io, and it will allow you to deal out some cards. And you'll notice the trials have gone up automatically, but you'll have to make your running total. So in this one, I got 3 blues, I got 1 orange, and I got 1 green. I'm going to shuffle them to put them all back in the bag. It shakes it all up and deal again. So we'll keep going with this trials. In this case, till we get to 15, and we'll keep adding the totals. Let me reset it for that group. And then we'll put a screenshot in here. From that information, you'll kind of think about your percentage, you'll revise your prediction, and then you'll dump it out. So when we dump it out, we actually mean like just dump it out. See what's in here. Let me bring them back for that group. And then there's a subpopulation on the next page with a different bag. So it's kind of directed as to what to do in here, but it's also going to really bring out like what this subset could be. And so in the end, you'll kind of make a little graph and you'll think about what that subset could be. If at any point in time you have questions about this, because it is a little bit more directed, I'm going to pop in and out of the rooms. Feel free to ask. Yes, Laura, each link is specific to that bag. But I thought we could kind of figure it out, and as educators think, what we might change in this and how we could use this in the classroom. All right, I'm going to go ahead and randomly put us into, we'll do 3 groups today. Alrighty, your groups are going to automatically start, so just turn on your microphone, say hello to your new buddies, and head to your group slides. We've got enough people that come regularly that they can let you know what group you're in if you're not familiar with the system and support you with this. So here we go.
We are green slides.
Can I tone it up to 2?
Hi, group 2. I
Hello.
see several people are already in your bag, and you guys can all be in here at the same time. It's a collaborative manipulative.
Oh, we're bag 2. Okay, there we are. Bag 2. Group 2. Group 2. Bag 1, bag 2. Okay, bag 1.
So let's
So if we're all on the same link and I do something, is it like Google Slides that my
It
teammates would be
is.
able to see it?
It is. Everyone gets to see it.
So how many of the 20 cubes do we think would represent the racial breakdown of the population?
Right.
So before we run the simulation, how many of the cubes do we think would be white, black, Hispanic, or Asian?
I'll throw out a number. I'll say for white,
Hi there, group 1. How's it going? Are you on the prediction stage, or are you running your simulator?
We are
Predictions.
predicted.
We are starting our prediction, Teresa.
Cool.
And I did get my mic working. Sorry about that earlier. It would not let me talk.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, we got you covered. We got chat box if it comes down to it, but I'm glad you were able to fix it there.
So what do we think, guys? out of our 20 cubes? What do we want to go with?
About 12 white.
Sure.
I will be more than happy to type for us. Okay. So that means we have 8 left.
Huh, maybe it's a little high.
I see. Gotcha. Okay, blue, orange, blue, red, green. Okay, cool.
Should I go back to bag 1 then?
Yeah.
Enter. Blue, yellow, blue, red, green.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Great, right. Okay, so we've already run one trial or not? Do we all do it separate or we do it together?
Well, this is trial 1,
Okay.
and then if we want, we can keep going. So if you want to deal, yeah, there you go. That's trial 2. So on the top, it tells you what trial number you're on.
So I added 1, and then 1 orange, and 3 blue. Okay, I did trial 2.
Oh, perfect.
Hi group, and then make sure you hit the recall shuffle button. It'll put those cards or those cubes like back in the bag, and then it'll redraw 5 new ones. But you're doing this great. Yeah, run it a total of 15 times, and then someone can take a screenshot and put it on their slide.
Oh, run it 15 times and then put it up. Okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. 2 more blues. 2 greens, 1 orange. Somebody else's turn.
I don't want to accidentally click and then click it wrong, so. You want me to go this time, Karina? I can go. Deal. So 2 yellow, or 2 orange, 2 blue, and a green. Okay, somebody else want to go?
And 3 more orange. Ew, we got a green one that time. And okay. Somebody make sure I'm totaling this right. Okay.
I get, or 3 now. So then we would add 1, 2, 3 to blue, 1, 2, 3, and then to green, 1, 2.
But then the total should still be 20, right?
Okay. So if we've
No.
done it twice, the total should
We've
be
run
10.
it 3
Is that-
times.
Oh,
It's been, well, wait. If it's 5,
so we're at 25.
we're at
And we've done it 3
25 so
times.
far.
Did we already have numbers in there before we started?
I don't remember.
Hi there, group. It
There was
looks
always
like
some-
it looks like maybe the number of trials was actually 5, so you can just put that
Yeah.
up to 5. It looks like maybe it got brought back down, so you can adjust it now that you've thought. And just listening to your conversation, I know that your group knows so much about the mathematics happening here.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Okay.
All right, so let's reshuffle and run it again.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's keep going now.
All right.
Okay, so this is the orange color, right? This one right here, this is orange.
All right. So I'm
Yes.
going to bump us up to
Okay.
18 on blue. Is that okay?
Yep, go for it.
Okay.
And then green.
All righty.
Got it. All right, recall and reshuffle. Are we ready?
Okay. Yeah, I can do that.
And I really wonder if the Hispanic is greater than the black. Now, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm also thinking about how long African Americans have lived here than Hispanics. I'm just thinking about the amount of years versus present times. I actually don't know. I actually don't know the breakdown of U.S. population.
I think the black is like around 15% maybe, but I don't know. I think we've got a good prediction. We'll go back and do our cards. I predict 15.
Someone else can do the last one.
You want to
If you were
recall
saying
first?
Texas, you know, like it's going to be regional too, because if you were saying Texas, it'd be more Hispanic than black in Texas.
Oh yeah,
Right.
definitely.
So that's going to be kind of hard. Yeah.
50.
Oh, nice job,
20.
group 2. You've got
You know
your
what?
15 trials.
We have a mistake. One time we had a trial that we didn't actually throw the thing. So can we?
Oh, yeah, just drop it down, hit the minus button, and then do another.
Yeah, we have
Well,
one
that's
more
cool.
missing.
You can do that.
Okay, 2 greens. And
That's really cool. I like this.
it's 20, 30. I think this is correct now. So we need a screenshot, right?
I'm terrible at that, so.
I can do that.
Yeah,
Okay,
75. Good. That's the number we needed.
All right. And so,
Well, this
all right.
All right.
I'll recall. We're almost there. I think this is our last one, right?
Yep.
Yay.
Oh,
Okay. All right. So we're supposed to grab a screen. I'll grab a screenshot of this, right?
All right.
yeah.
Sounds good.
Got it. Nice. Thank you.
Hi, group 1. Oh, it's so exciting to see your results on here. Do you think that's going to change your prediction of the 20 cubes in the bag?
Looking
Maybe
at
higher
the
Hispanic.
percent of blue, technically, if we were to use our prediction of 53 blue cubes that were pulled, that's a little bit, I think that would push our blue prediction up if we were just going off of our trial. But
Yeah, so in that third column, think about your initial prediction, and you can either stick with a 12, 3, 4, 1, or you can change it based off of that trial. Excellent.
No person.
I'm working.
Did anyone else in this group have a full moon week with your students?
a full normal week. Oh my gosh.
No, it's just like the full moon, man. My kids were off.
Oh, no. You know, we were out the week before with all the ice in Texas, and then this week we had to pick up and do our interscholastic league contest, and it was crazy. Kids in and out of class all week. We had cheerleader tryouts on Friday.
Oh my
It was,
gosh.
yes, it was just nuts. And we said this week was worse than last week being home with no power and water.
Yeah. 4, 18, 22, 4. Wow, we're kind of revised prediction. Actual contents to all the cards anywhere.
Hey, group 2, this is looking great. Now that you have your percentages from your trial, in this column you're working on now, you'll want this to be the 20 cubes again. So are you going to stick with 11, 4, 3, and 2? Or are you going to change those numbers in your revised prediction?
Oh, okay.
I think we need to stick with the white at 11. I mean, we hit the bag correctly as close as you could get. I think we need to
Hispanic
change.
is more than black. That's so switch them maybe.
I think we change the Asian down to 2 is 4%. Change the Asian to 1 cube.
Mm-hmm.
and then Hispanic go to 4 because we can't, and black keep it 4 and 11.
Hispanic is more.
It is more, but I almost like, you know what? I mean, our initial for black was 3/20. Like, that's close to
Yeah. That's pretty close.
15%.
Yeah, that's good then.
Yeah, so maybe we should keep the 3. So we keep the 3 first.
I agree.
For
I think
black.
that's
I agree we keep the 3.
Okay,
Yikes.
because we were pretty close on the 15-16%.
uh-huh.
I think the only thing we changed was 1 white to Hispanic then.
Yes.
Okay. Are we ready to dump?
All right, let's do this.
I guess so. So now we go to bag 2, right? No?
Well, we get to dump all the
Cards.
we get to see the cards now. Deal all of the cards to reveal the contents of the bag.
Okay. So,
Deal all of the cards.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I see. No.
Yeah.
It
I'm
did
gonna start trying to do that.
Oh, look at you guys organizing these. These look good.
Oh wow, this takes a while to get 75 cards pulled.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
But it's not 75 cards, it's 20 because
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4,
we started
Oh
with
no!
20.
6.
Uh-oh,
7,
I didn't mean to do that, sorry. I think that was me on accident. What happened?
Oh no, that's okay.
That was weird. 4, 5.
Done.
So you have 3 green.
So 12,
orange.
4, 3, and 1.
Ooh, group 1,
Isn't
you
that
were
what we said
really
at first?
close in your prediction.
12, 4, 3, and 1. Whoa, did we get it exactly right, or did we mess
Oh,
up?
almost. We switched black and Hispanic in our regular prediction, our original.
Orange.
Wait a second. I'm trying. Okay,
Wait, no.
that's
Oh,
3.
Oh no, wait.
no, we got it right. We
Oh, we had it right. I was,
Our original prediction was right.
yeah.
Wow.
That's bizarre.
Wow. Let's play lotto. Let's play the lottery quick.
Yeah, really.
Nice
Yeah,
work,
Teresa,
group
we gotta
1.
go get lottery numbers.
So the neat thing is bag 2, so this is going to be a separate link that you click on the next slide. This is a subset of the US population. It's not the whole thing, it's a subset, but I didn't tell you what the subset is. So you're going to run it and you're going to do the same thing where you figure out the percentage, you make a prediction, and then you see what's actually inside.
What slide are we on? We're on slide.
We are now on slide 9.
Okay. 9 is a
And I guess-
subset. Okay.
So we have a new bag.
Okay, so we got to go to bag 2. Close bag 1. I'm gonna open bag 2. Uh-oh. What happened?
Okay, since we're not predicting, I'm going to go ahead and deal.
Okay.
So, 1, 2.
We have to do 15 of these again?
Yes, but there's no recall.
Oh, there's
Am
no
I-
recall button. Let me see if I can fix that for you guys. That's not supposed to be there.
Oh, okay.
What if you put +1 on the 1 for the 2? Does that change things? Nope, doesn't.
I think Teresa said she's going to.
Oh, she can fix it.
All right. Did that fix it for you?
It doesn't show.
I'm going to reset mine.
Oh, I did it for group 1. I'm sorry. Import.
No, it's the same.
How about now?
Now
Yes,
it
I
does.
see it now.
Okay. I don't know why it did that. That was really weird.
color.
Yeah, that way I think it would be organized. That's a good idea.
Okay.
I'll grab orange.
Oh, okay.
I'll do green.
Okay, nice.
Somebody else's turn. This is fun.
I'll go for it.
We lost a card somewhere.
We lost a card?
Somewhere, I think our second shuffle, we didn't get all the cards in the bag or on the list.
Oh, I don't know.
But that's okay.
I'm watching it. It's kind of fun to watch it too.
Green, one orange. Three green.
I think we need one more blue. I think we undercounted
Okay.
the blue, so let me add one.
Okay.
So if this is saying subset of the U.S. population, I'm thinking no Asian. So like
Older, maybe. Oh, well, no.
Yeah, when I thought I didn't know subset, I thought maybe a different subset than when the ones before were like, yeah, like subset. Let's say subset.
Yeah, it
What
could have
is
been like
subset?
this, for example, but you know.
Y'all, I'm being greedy. Someone bothered. They want to turn.
go for it.
We can just keep going.
You know, I think your group talked about subsets earlier. You were talking about what if this was the population in Texas or the population that did, it's like, it's a part of the population governed by some kind of rule.
Can't be immigration because Asians have to go
Yeah,
through
right.
too. There are no Asian.
How many cubes are in the bag this time?
There are still 20.
Is there still 20? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. 50. Come on. It's 43.
Mm-hmm.
$40.
Lucky at all. I'll grab a screenshot. Poor red.
Well, that's easy to put the percent in for red.
I know, right?
Yeah.
All right, there's a screenshot.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so out of 75,
I think blue is 16%.
Orange was like 21%.
41 over 75, 55%.
We can do that right. Let's see. Oh wait, let's see.
Wait a minute. The blue one, what's it?
Was
Oh, it is. Okay. Got it. Okay. Does it, what, do we have it add up to 100?
16 and 55 and 21, 92. Something's off.
Oh,
Something's off.
did I get the So 18 blue.
Five. And
So
there
you
can be
know what,
rounding
group?
errors, but it shouldn't be off by that much.
It's really
white
interesting
so blue
how
should
that
actually
came
be
out.
24%, no?
Yes.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
That looks good then. Okay.
Yeah, the 24 should make up between 92 to,
Yeah.
that's, yeah.
That
Because
does
it should be, it shouldn't, yeah, you're right. Thanks for catching that.
So you know what's really cool about what happened with your data? Now that you know that there's something missing there, go ahead and make your prediction, look at the actual contents, and then think about where would those missing ones be. This is a really cool little happy accident, so I'm excited that it happened.
All right, what do we think for our prediction?
Okay. Those were prediction or those were actual? Did somebody already find the actual?
Yeah, I made that mistake. I went one step ahead. I'm sorry. I was very curious.
It's okay.
Where will we not have Asians?
And the number of black and white are equal, which it doesn't have to be exact equal, but it's trying to say it's about the same.
Like, this should have been 7 cubes. Is that right? This should have
Oh,
been.
yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
And that should have been 4 cubes. There we go.
Well done, group. So you've seen the contents now of bag 2, and the big question is, what describes this subset of the U.S. population? On your next slide, you'll create a graph. You'll just plug in your numbers, and then you'll make some prediction. There's some bullet points there for you to think about what this could be.
Now we have to transfer our data. Can't create I can talk. Okay, so I gotta get these numbers.
I can
12,
do
3,
bag
4,
two.
and 1.
3, 8,
12.
4. There's the
3.
bag 2.
All right, Safar green. I'm most curious about red.
Yeah, me too. Holding my breath.
I think
Interesting.
that's it.
It's not at all what we had said for the blue and the green.
Oh.
No, it's not even, because it's not even close.
What, 8
Oh.
and 8, 8 and 4.
Yeah. All right, let me record. We got 8 and then 4 down for orange.
And 8 for
Well, at
blue
least we
and
got
green.
the 4 right for orange.
And we got
least
the
the
0.
Yeah, that's true. 2 out of 4, I guess.
Hi, group. So, yeah, now you know what's inside of this bag. And the next part of the activity that leads you into the next slide, you're going to graph this. You'll put the data in this little link, and you'll start to ask yourself, what could this subset be? Like, in America, this is a subset. Is it people who live in Virginia? Is it people who shop at Whole Foods? Is it, like, what could it be? And you'll put those on your next slide.
In the second group, the white and the black population are equal. And that's what I'm trying to figure out. What's equal? And there's no Asians.
Yeah, or at least not enough to represent a cube.
Ah,
Right.
who just said that? And what does that mean in mathematics?
I guess we'd have to figure out what percent. Let me see. Like a cube represents a certain number of people. Like if we.
So cube
What am I trying to
represents
say?
5%.
Right.
If it was
yes,
1
yes.
out of 20, you would 5%.
So there's just not enough Asian people in this subpopulation to.
Ah, that's
be
a really big
represented
concept to
like you.
bring out too.
Good job.
Thanks.
So I'm trying to think of where I'm thinking in terms of like an area of the United States, but it's probably not that kind of subpopulation.
It could be.
Put it down as one of your ideas. It could be.
Okay, so
Asian won't be anything less than 5%.
Or even if it was a smaller percent, there's going to be a percentage somewhere.
Yeah, that's
I'm
why
gonna
I'm
put that.
thinking
The
it's a
zero makes it
statistical
hard
zero.
to think of.
Yeah.
What is this? I'm gonna put that there.
And do you think that this subpopulation actually has 0 people with Asian, like in the sample?
Yeah, we're thinking it's a statistical zero. It's a rounding error, where it's a small number.
So that's a
If you
really
had
important
any
concept to bring
kind
up.
If you had something like
True.
club and you did not allow Asians to join, that's the only thing I can think of.
I mean, yeah, it could be a random sampling. You know, you just happen to pick groups that don't have Asians. It's possible with a low Asian population sampling.
Or that statistical 0 that there are people there. It's just not enough to bring it up to that 1 cube. Yeah.
From random samplings, yeah, exactly.
Maybe if we rolled again, a red would have come up. We don't know, right? It could be a red in the bag, but we just didn't see it.
No, we did take out all the contents. I think the idea is that our sample
No, I'm
size
saying
go
like
back-
maybe if you kept rolling, you would have gotten a red, right? Or no, that couldn't have happened. You don't think there could have been a red? Like, I guess not. I don't know.
What I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think the way the way to kind of picture it is like you went out and you counted all the people you saw in groups of 5. You know, you saw 5 Asians this time and 3 blacks, whatever. It just happened to be every time you looked out, you didn't see Asians. So it was too small a sample size. Is really the best explanation, I would say.
Welcome back, everyone. Hi there. We're all back together in the main room. So It was so exciting to hear the collaboration that was done here. I mean, people were just chatting. Interruptions happened organically and they were comfortable, and everyone had access to all the spaces. It wasn't like you had one person that did it all. And those are really exciting things to see in a math classroom. So let's take a peek at what we think that subpopulation is. Our red group says areas or regions of the U.S., urban or female. Our green group says a particular area in the U.S., possibly a military-based population, or percent of Asian teachers. And group 3 thought of places where it might not be Chicago, LA, Atlanta, Washington, D.C., maybe rural. So there's lots of great predictions. But the mathematics here is kind of interesting. So I'm going to project the graph, and I'd like us to share out this idea of 40%. Whoops, let me see if I can do this right. Here we go. So here we see on the graph that you all came up with that white and black are both 40%. But what does that 40% really mean in the big scheme of things? And so I want us to just take a moment, think about, is 40% an equal part of this population or not? And just kind of get some ideas down in the chat box, and we'll chat about, what does this 40% mean? We've got some ideas here. Minority, less than half the population. Every 2 out of 5 people are white. Because the data here is real data, but it can be skewed differently if we only look at part of the picture. I'd like to introduce where I've gotten this problem from and what the subset is. On slide 25 is the book that I got it out of. This is High School Math Lessons to Explore, Understand, and Respond to Social Injustice. And this subpopulation that we worked with are prison populations in the U.S. These are the ethnic and racial breakdowns of our prison population. So if we were to say that white and black are equal in terms of prison population, are they really equal? And I'm curious to think about how we could use this data to talk about, are they really equal? The questions that I would ask students are on slide 24, but I'd love for you all to share out. Feel free to turn on your microphone. And how do you consider this idea of 40% of 100? Is that equal or not equal now that you know this? What are you thinking? Yeah, Lisa, go ahead. Let's hear from you.
I'm thinking this is 40% of just the prison population is these specific races. So I don't think it's reflective of the whole United States population. Our prison population does not reflect our country's population. Hope that makes sense.
Right. It doesn't reflect the U.S. population. So does that mean that one group is incarcerated more often than another? Equal? Less? What's your thoughts?
I think it shows that your data is only good as your sampling. And so it's not just the number, which is important, but also where you're taking your data from. So if you're taking it all from prison population, that's going to significantly skew it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're not trying to say that prison populations are the population in the U.S., but of the prison populations, here's the racial makeup, and it is skewed, and it's skewed that tells us something about our populations. Raha, I heard you starting. Go ahead.
Well, I was just wondering, I feel like I would want more information as in like, where was the data extracted from? Is it from just a couple of states versus lots of different states? I don't know if you already mentioned that, but I feel like that would also play a big role into me trying to figure out how that reflects any other sample size.
Yes, absolutely. Peter, would you tell us a little bit more about what overrepresented means in this?
In the prison population, you can definitely see that relative to the U.S. population, that the black population is overrepresented in the prison population, and I guess to a certain degree, and the white population is underrepresented. But you can, based on the graphs that we're looking at in my slides, it shows that the black population, percentage-wise, is double, more than double of the population of the United States in the prisons.
Yeah. So we have this statistical data that shows us that our racial breakdown is not showing up the same way. Proportionately, that 40% is not equal. People with black racial and ethnic groups are being incarcerated at a higher percentage than white. And what this book does is it has a great way of, what do you do about this data? And at the end of each lesson, there's a taking action section. And students would take action by writing their American Civil Liberty Unions, their government officials, and find out, like, why is this happening? What are the things that are happening in court systems? And they can also look at the disproportionate representation and figure out, what would be more equitable in terms of, where people are being judged, and are there different sentences for different racial groups. And so they can really investigate something that is happening in their world around them and see if there is something that they can do to make a difference. So it was an absolute joy to be able to bring a lesson that comes out of this text to everyone. I hope you see ways that this sampling population can really stretch to multiple grade levels, and how when we do mathematics that makes a difference to students, all of a sudden we start to care more about 20 cubes. And what about, like, what do you mean there's zero Asian? That doesn't mean that there's zero Asian in prisons, but it means something in terms of statistical data that I know each of you all talked about as well. It was wonderful to be able to have one of the authors of this lesson join us today. Next is an interview with the author. First of all, thanks so much for coming. And I definitely hope that I did the lesson justice. It's always interesting when people take your lessons and kind of put their own twist on it. If you did have more time in that lesson, are there 1 to 2 questions in there that you really wish that we had unpacked a little bit more?
I enjoyed all the questions. I always appreciate when people ask where the data is coming from, because I think that is super important to note, is like, where is this information coming from? And especially when I do the lesson with my students also, they ask that question almost immediately. And I think that is an important question to always put in a lesson. I usually just put it like underneath in my table or something, so they don't have to ask, they can just see. But I thought a lot of the questions were what my students ask also, like, are these male and female? Are these federal prison numbers, or is this just in a certain area? I think those questions are always important, and it was nice to hear them being asked.
Yeah, and then, there's always these great questions about mathematics in there. I was really drawn to two of them that, the text definitely brings out this idea of, is 40% equal? And we started off with like the Girl Scout cookies, something that is just so, it's not necessarily related to social justice here, but 40% of a box of Girl Scout cookies, when there's different amounts in boxes, I thought would kind of get them interested in that number. And then leading to, are we talking about a straight percentage, or are we looking at a proportion percentage? That was something that really struck me in the book. Also, the idea of why were there no cubes representing the Asian races in the prisons, and does that mean zero? And I thought those are two really important math concepts that lesson really brings out. I'm curious if those are the two that your students usually navigate to, and if there's any others that I didn't think of that your students really reach out at.
Yeah, the red cube comes up a lot because in the classroom I give them on the worksheet there's a percentage of Asians in the prison population, and they'll point to that and say, well, how come there are no red cubes in there if there are obviously Asian people in prison? And then we talk about that each cube represents a certain percent, so that if an Asian, or if that population doesn't meet that percent, we don't have enough of them, I guess, to make a cube. So then we talk about how we could fix that, and we talk about how we could just put more cubes in there if we said, okay, now we're going to use 30 or 40 cubes to represent the population. Would that allow us to use a red cube? And we have that discussion in class also. We do also talk about, is 40% equal? So they look at those two populations representing 40% of the prison population, and we talk about whether that means that they're equally represented, since they're both making up 40% of the same subpopulation. So they definitely grapple with the idea of being disproportionate. And using this when I taught 7th grade math, proportionality is a huge thing that they learn in 7th grade, or that they're expected to learn. So that idea that 40% is not the same is a huge skill for them to develop in 7th grade.
Indeed. And I hear some other 7th grade ideas in there too, the idea of proportion and ratios. If we add 40 cubes, do we have enough to bring in this extra red cube? What I love about the lessons in the book, and this one in particular, is how rich the mathematics is. I mean, the mathematics is front and center, but it's also, kids are investigating some of these social injustices and trying to grapple with that, with a sense of mathematics. And what I wonder is, for teachers out there who might watch the recording, and that we hear a lot of discussion about, like, I'm not sure if I want to do this in my classroom yet. I'm not sure if I should. And there's this kind of feeling of, not knowing when to bring up these types of issues. But because the math is so focused, I think that gives us an entry point. So if you've never tried one of these out before, now the math is so in your face that you're like, hey, I could give this one a try. We might be able to have a conversation. And I'm just wondering, what advice do you have for classroom teachers that might find themselves in this position?
Yeah, it's definitely a pretty intimidating thing, just because you don't know what the reactions of the students are going to be, and you don't know, they go home and talk to their family about what they did in school, and you don't really know if somebody is going to have an issue or to want to kind of dig deeper into what lesson is their kid talking about. And one advice I sometimes give teachers is to use something, I don't want to say without race in it, but sometimes the race aspect can be a little bit triggering for some people. So I've done social justice lessons about minimum wage or a livable wage, and that sometimes is a way to like ease the classroom into, we're going to talk about these topics, and it's a way to, or it's an opportunity to set up norms and what are appropriate ways to have discussions about these topics without race being a part of it. Even though when I was doing a minimum wage lesson, race ended up finding its way in there anyway. So I don't want to say that the issue doesn't involve race at all, but I found that one might be a little bit easier to start with. And then if if you set up your classroom in a way that talking about these issues are normal in the math classroom, getting to something like the prison population, which can be a little bit more emotional for people, your students have had time to prepare their minds into like, this is something normal that happens. So that's one advice I give teachers, is to start off maybe with something a little bit lighter. But if not, I advise teachers to just always keep the conversation coming back to the data and the math that we're talking about. And I always encourage students who have questions about the data that we can research those as well. So some students with the prison population lesson are curious about how that relates to poverty levels and opportunities for representation in the courtroom, and are certain races being given more severe sentences than others. And so there's all these other questions that come up, and I always encourage students to explore those either with me in the classroom or at home. So I guess that would be my advice, to just keep the conversation at math and to accept any and all questions that students have that maybe will take the discussion further.
That's some really good advice. Thank you so much for that. And I like that, as these students, these adolescents are thinking about what they're going to do, after graduation, that you mentioned here representation in the courtroom. And so, that might, have an impact on career choices or paths that they go down. And it's just a great way to bring these social justice topics into the math classroom. So I can't thank you enough for your work that you've done on this book and everyone else's work that they've done in it.